So now that Tales of the Jedi has officially gone green and we have had the pleasure of viewing it with our eyes, you might be curious to learn just a little bit more about Ahsoka's homeland and her people. Ahsoka is a Togruta, not to be mistaken for a Twi'lek. Even though they share a fairly similar appearance, they are most definitely different. For one, Togruta are far less common in the galaxy than the Twi'lek, something that has been a bit of an obstacle for Ahsoka in the past because it makes it much harder for her to blend into a crowd, which is probably why she's so often hooded in public when trying to keep a low profile. While both the Twi'lek and the Togruta have what's called leku, which means head tails, the Togruta usually have 3, with 2 hanging down their sides and 1 on the back of their neck. These grow longer with age, and a woman's leku were generally longer than a man's. Losing one of their leku wouldn't necessarily do lasting damage to a Togruta, but like losing an arm, the leku would never grow back. The Togruta also sported 2 horns on the tops of their heads that are called montrals. These horns give them a form of echolocation, just like a bat, allowing them to sense movements and objects around them up to 82 feet away. That's insane, and oddly this is something I can't remember ever coming up in the show, but I'm sure it has got to be incredibly useful for Ahsoka's spatial awareness. And along with the Force, it's probably quite useful if you just happen to be surrounded by a squad of clones trying to stun you. The Togruta came in a multitude of different colors with different white pigmented designs on their faces that were unique to the individual. Generally, their coloring would help them camouflage themselves in the wilderness on their native planet. Ahsoka was born on her people's home planet of Shili, and although it was the most populated Togruta planet, their race had expanded to a few other locations, namely with a fairly large colony on the planet of Kuros. They were an extremely spiritual people, something that we see a lot from Pav-Ti, Ahsoka's mother, and Gauntica, the elder in the Tales of the Jedi. They were also very protective of their planet and their ways and traditions. The Togruta people did have a basic governmental setup with a queen in place on Shili. They also had a military, Togruta guard, and an entire fleet of warships. Anyways guys, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.